Hello and welcome to my first ever crockpot recipe video. This is something I have wanted to do for such a long time, but I lack the, knowledge, talent, technology, all the stuff that you need to make good videos. But every week, Missy over at The Welder's Wife says, just do it. You can't wait until you have everything in place. Sometimes you just have to jump in and do it. And she's right. So, I'm going to make my first crockpot cooking video. This is a creamy tortellini soup. I will put a link to the original recipe in the description box. And this is just a really, really good, very easy soup. It also makes quite a bit, so this is kind of family dinner night. We're going to start with the original recipe calls for a pound of Italian sausage browned, but my Wally World only had it in 12-ounce packages, but that's okay. It probably would be a little better with a full pound, but 12 ounces is good enough. So brown that up, and then I set it to drain on a paper towel, a paper plate lined with paper towels. And while that's draining, I get out my crockpot liners. I get mine from Amazon because they're considerably less expensive, and I've always had good luck with them. And besides that, gosh, they just make cleanup a breeze. So, this particular recipe is a large can of petite diced tomatoes and 2 cans of tomato soup and, a 32-ounce box of chicken stock. I would have, this was chicken broth. I would have rather had chicken stock just to richen the flavor up a little bit, but I'm just using what I had on hand today. So, put in the browned, drained Italian sausage, put in your tomatoes, put in your tomato soup. This is Campbell's. I splurged. I got the real deal. The truth is that canned soup does have quite a bit of sodium in it, but I used low sodium chicken stock, chicken broth, and I don't put any other extra salt in it. So, 2 cans of tomato soup, which is making roughly 8 servings of soup for me. It's not too salty, but I never said any of this was going to be health food. I always take the chicken stock or the water or whatever and rinse the can out. Do you do that? I think my Aunt Helen taught me to do that. Get every last little bit of flavor out of there. So, all right, we've got all that in. Now we're going to put the lid on. Clean up as you go. Really makes your life a lot easier if you clean up as you go. I don't always follow that rule, but I can tell you I'm always sorry when I don't. So, if you're cooking it on low, it probably needs to cook here for, a good 6 or 8 hours. I'm cooking this one on high because I got a late start today. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I put that on. And I put it on high. Now it's about 4:30, and I'm going to add the cream cheese. So, the original recipe calls for 2 containers of a chive cream cheese mix. I was not real sure that I wanted that much cream cheese with chives and onions, so I did 8 ounces of regular cream cheese, and then I did 8 ounces of the container with the chive and onion. I'm sitting here thinking about this now that I'm watching this video back, and I'm not sure that I know that container is an 8-ounce container of cream cheese, but is that brick 8 ounces or is it 12? I'm not sure. I don't know. So anyway, let's get our cream cheese in here, give it a stir, kind of break it up a little bit so it's not in clumps. That'll kind of help it melt a little faster. I'm going to let this melt for a good 15 or 20 minutes, simply because I really want to be able to give the cream cheese chance to completely melt and incorporate in with the tomato soup so that you don't have little clumpies, little globules of cream cheese. That sometimes happens to me when I put cream cheese in this slow cooker. It doesn't, melt quite as smoothly as I might like, but hey, who cares? It's cream cheese. All right, so we're going to put this lid on and come back in about 15 minutes, and here we are. We're back, and it's really nice and melty. Let's give it a good stir. I haven't put the tortellini in yet. The original recipe called to put the tortellini in when you put the cream cheese in, but I have discovered that when I do that, and then I need to really give that cream cheese a good stir, it tends to kind of break up the tortellini a little bit. So I decided against that this time, and I'm using a little whisk, and I am really going to give this a going over. Now, I realize that, that might be a little overkill there, but, what can I say? It is really, honestly, just about one of my favorite soups. It is really rich, it's hearty, and I'm going to bake up some breadsticks to have with this tonight. I didn't get a clip of that. Sorry about that, but hey, I'm still learning. I'll get better at this video thing. Now, to this, I'm going to add a package of frozen cheese tortellini. You can use any tortellini you want. I wanted cheese and spinach, but they didn't have that one. I was at Walmart today. This is a tortellini that when you put it in boiling water, it's done in, it says 3 minutes. So, since this isn't completely boiling, I'm going to let it cook actually about another 15, 20 minutes to really get the tortellini cooked through. And here we are, 15, 20 minutes later. Make sure the lid's not too hot before I pick it up. Give that a good stir. The tortellini's cooked all the way through. Soup is thickened up a little bit. I wish you had smell-o-vision, because this is so good. It is smelling so good. The whole house smells delicious at this point. Alright, so got our bowl. What do we have? We have our Pioneer Woman bowl that we love, and our Nessie ladle, and maybe 3 scoops is a little too generous, but you know what? I've slaved over a hot crock pot all day. I deserve it. Alright. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I really appreciate it. And to my granddaughters, Gujo loves you. Grandma Yaya loves you. And don't forget, Rowdy loves you too. Bye, babies.